Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history? In-depth personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book. Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck, home of the low price tire guarantee. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix, live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. Vast spectrum of services and affiliates. J-Rock back with you as we roll on just momentarily. Going to be joined on the hotline by the BSK himself, Kendall Lewis. Going to join us as he does every Thursday here on the Sports Fix as we start rolling into the weekend and getting you set for some football and some Browns. And I'm looking forward to talking Browns and Titans and Steelers. Oh my! With the BSK, Kendall Lewis here in just a few moments. Guys, since the phone lines are taken up, you can't get through there, but you can, as always, hit us up on Facebook and email and Twitter and all of those great things. Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix, CLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Or, hey, on Facebook, you can just search the Sports Fix, and if there's another one out there, let me know, because I'll slap them around. Facebook.com/the Sports Fix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix, CLE. Email us, the Sports Fix @AOL.com. You know, a couple of things before Kendall joined us, before we get rolling. Looking back at, you hear I'm the man in the background, got me thinking of being the man. Coach Waters yesterday, great interview, and a lot of you guys have reached out to us, and that was awesome. One of the interviews we've gotten a lot of feedback for lately. It was yesterday. It was great to have Coach on, and I meant what I said. Like, I tell you guys this whenever I get the chance to catch up with Coach. And look, I know, and you know what? There's a lot of disingenuous people in this industry, as we know, and so, you know, hey, you guys know that just as much as I do, so I always feel the need to explain that, you know, like, has nothing to do with an affiliation or a friendship or anything like that. It's just a respect level. I think that Coach Waters is truly the man, and I meant it when I said, if I can just somehow get this stubborn child of mine through into a college somewhere, I would love if Coach Waters was or somebody like him was the guy who got a hold of my own children and fixed them, straightened them out, sent them on send them into the world to be a man, teach them how to be a man. Anyways, my bad movie references. Welcome back in, you guys. Still waiting here on Kendall. So, a couple of things as we get rolling with the show. Before he joins us, we were looking before the break. We were talking Browns. Still, latest I got the other day. The latest injury report. Excuse me, not the other day. The other hour here this morning from Browns, and looking at things with the situation with Joe Hayden. I mentioned it before the break about Antonio Brown, talking about the battle that they have there and what he expects to see there. He was asked why he had so much success with Joe Hayden, and he said, "Man, I couldn't really name it. I just go out there and try to be the best I could be. It just so happens to work out." He said, "It was interesting, though. It was interesting, the answer." He was asked if he saw a difference in Joe Hayden this year, and he said, "Not really. I think he's still highly competitive. They allow him to press guys. I think he's still the same guy." I don't know, man. I heard when I listened to it, and it reads differently, but I heard into that a little bit of, yeah, but, you know, I look at that still as a small sample of work, but I'm also not one of the people that rode the lockdown train, so to say, either, as far as that. I mean, I think Joe Hayden is very good at what he does, but there's a difference between very good and being one of the best. And it's not even that, because I think he is one of the best at certain aspects of the position. I think in certain parts of coverage he does well, but there's other places that he doesn't, But as part of the group overall, I like Joe Hayden. And I'm not one of those guys that I don't think he's the most overrated, but some people do. And some of you guys hit me up with that consistently here on the show. I'm not in that category per se, but I'm also not. I don't walk around and think that he's the best, defensive back in the NFL either, because I really don't. I really don't think he is. And I mean, we see that, especially when he gets into some of these matchups with some of the guys. And everybody's got a guy that gets you. Everybody's got the guy that will cause you trouble throughout your career, So, and Antonio Brown does it to a lot of people, but there's some other instances too. I'm not going to pile on to Joe Hayden here. And getting back to where I started with this, still not sure if he's going to play or not. Coach Pettine yesterday said, as far as Joe Hayden goes, more of a get him ready for Sunday. It's okay if he, some of these veterans, Hayden, I know they do this with Joe Thomas as a regular. They kind of give him a maintenance day. But, during the season, especially with guys that have been there. Now, I know you got to practice. I mean, I'm not in any way clueless to that. But once you've done it for so long, I mean, at that point, it really does become more important to have a guy available to do what he's got to do on Sunday than have him ready on Wednesday and out there practicing, So, but still no word yet. I got to think, though, that especially with the damage that they can do, speaking of Pittsburgh over there, the damage that they can do on the other side, I've got to think that I don't know. You want to err on the side. But then what do? You go with Gilbert, who, as we said, as much as they want to say, hey, we still got faith in him. We haven't given up on him. Coach Pettine was very clear. And it's one of the things that I've talked about before, you guys, that I like about the way he addresses situations is that he really does. I'm not saying he doesn't still use coach speak, because they all do, but Chud was the king of the coach speak, and so was Shermer. You guys know, I mean, you get sick of I got to check the tape, and I can't give you a straight answer with a ruler, and that stuff drives you nuts, and I don't really get that from him. He's good not to throw guys under the bus, but he's also good, at least it seems to me. Maybe you guys disagree, but he's not afraid to criticize guys. I mean, he even talked a bit about Mingo and Justin Gilbert yesterday and why they've gotten pulled back. It's absolutely. He said, hey, we got your back. We love you. We respect you. We think you're going to be good. We like your talent, but we don't like it so much that we're going to keep you out there at the same time that it's hurting the team. We can't do that. We're going to, and I like that, because that has not been the rule of thumb in the Browns organization for a long time. I mean, we know that. It's the reason that Brandon Wheaton was trotted back out there a second season when everybody knew what was the deal already. I mean, and not just Wheaton, anybody. All draft picks that are the front office is forcing their guys to play and all of that. We know that, and that's been pedigree has been such a big thing. I mean, for those of you that do get into the Brian Hoyer versus Johnny Manziel thing, I firmly believe that any of the maybe Butch Davis, only because he was a pretty stubborn guy, but any one of these previous regimes, I guarantee you Johnny Manziel starts the season as the Browns quarterback, no matter what happened during the preseason, no matter how they played. That's just my gut, and I think a lot of you guys would agree with that. This Browns regime at least is in the initial sort doing things differently. It has nothing to do. I'm not talking about the drafting. You guys don't got to. We're talking about Justin Gilbert. I already know about the issue here with that. But, I think you would agree, though, about that aspect of it. I think any other regime, Brian Hoyer doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't matter if he's better or not. He doesn't stand a chance. That's different. And here, I saw Bruce in the chat room bringing up kind of what I was just talking about as far as that. And he said that. He said, look, man, we'll develop you. We'll get you some more opportunities and stuff, but we're not there. Let's just break things while we're going. But we're not going to just continue to throw you guys out there at the detriment of the team. There's other guys. And that was something I talked about even last year with Chud. Like, how can you, when they went back to Brandon Wheaton again, I'm like, how can you sell that to your locker room? How can you look those guys in the eyes and say, this gives us the best chance to win? I really believe that that's one of the things that probably did him the most damage. And you could say it was the front office. They may have been forcing him to do it. I mean, there's different rumors, and last year is in the past, but there's different rumors that came out. Some people said Norv Turner, from the very second that he saw Brandon Weeden, said this guy is garbage. He's not going to work. This isn't going to work, and it was forced down. Other people tell you the opposite. Say the coaching staff was caught up in the rebuild, which we know coaches have the hubris. They like to prove that they're the guy that can make the change and a guy that can break him through. But anyways, my point is you can't sell that. You can't look at your locker room. Yet these guys, they win the other day. They're dancing. That's all fun and games. It's got that good vibe in the locker room. You don't have that if people think that you're BSing them every time that you talk to them. When you stand up in front of a group of guys and go, hey, we're going back to Brandon Weeden again. We think he gives us the best chance to win. How do guys buy that? How do guys come back out next week? And that's where we talked about, you could see, and John McMullen brought that up this week about the Vikings with Christian Ponder, how when he came back out there for them, you could almost see the shoulders on the players on the team slump. The head goes down a little bit. They're still doing their job, but they just don't believe that they can do it. So that's something right there that I think different a little bit about this regime here from the previous ones. And looking forward again, by the way, this is the Sports Fix. J-Rock with you guys, and I'm supposed to be joined by Kendall Lewis, and I have no idea. I hope everything's okay. I have no idea what may have happened here. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Apparently there may be a problem with the phone lines here. I don't know. Give me a call, somebody. 216-539-7535. Let me find out. 216-539-7535. That may have been what happened to Kendall Lewis. I don't know. But we're going to find out here momentarily. Let's see here. 216-539-7535 is the number to call. I apologize for that. For those of you that tune in for Kendall Lewis, as you know, these type of things tend to happen in live radio when you're rolling by yourself. So getting back to the conversation here about the Browns as I wait for the phone lines to open back up here, and we'll see. Perhaps there is a technical difficulty on our end. I mean, there has not been any calls that came through thus far in the early part of today's show. So let's see what happens here. I don't know. I'm waiting to find out now. 216-5... There you go. Phone lines are ringing. Caller, I'm in a lifeboat with a paddle. Thank you very much. You sent me a buoy. Now I'm not drowning here, but the phones are working. So since the phones are working, let's go put the phone line on and see who's on it here. But apparently there's not a technical problem. So I don't know. Must have been a problem on Kendall Lewis's end. I apologize about that, but can't go backwards, baby. Got to keep moving it forward. Caller, you're up on the Sports Fix. Caller. Hello. All right, see, you know what? This is somebody from one of them other radio stations is just monkeying around with me here, man, because the call's there and the call's on, but let's see. Give me a call back, 216-539. So, I'm going to shut down the phones. This is what I'm getting ready to do here. Sitting here, got me messing things up. We were on a roll here. All right, guys, let me get back to what I was talking about here. I apologize once again if you tuned in to hear Kendall Lewis. He's not going to be able to join us here on the show because his time frame was a limited window. And so, unfortunately, nothing I can do about that. I apologize for those of you guys tuning in to hear Kendall Lewis. I'm going to keep rolling with the show as we're getting ready here to segue things. I know we got Eddy Jansen joining us. Just talk about just running the tracks off the road as the show's going on the air. I say it all the time. You never know what's going to happen with live radio, but there we go, man. So the show must go on. Looking at some more of the quotes coming out of yesterday. Talked to Antonio Brown, as we said, Mike Tomlin, different conference calls this week as those guys getting ready. Tomlin was asked if he sees Brian Hoyer as a better quarterback now than he did when they got ready for him a couple of weeks ago. He said absolutely not. I knew he was a good quarterback then. I know he's a good quarterback now. But Hoyer talked about how there's good and bad to have played the same team twice within the first 6 weeks of each other there like that. And one of the good things is that you've got